Okay, I'm back. So, discovered another issue on the Mk4 TDI ALH engine. And it's the brake booster line that I mentioned in the prior video. We're going over the vacuum pump. So you got to be pretty careful. And it's a common issue, as I stated before, that these brake booster lines fail. So I wanted to give you a look here. And this is dangerous. I mean, what's going to happen if you get a leak in your brake booster, you're going to lose vacuum, and you're not going to get your vacuum assist on your brakes. So your brakes will be hard as a rock, and you won't stop. Easy. I mean, you'll be reaching for the emergency brake. So if you're having problems when you press your brake pedal and it's really, really hard, and you're not stopping, it seems like your brakes are crap and you know your brakes are good, you might want to check this. So what's going on here, off your brake pump, or off your vacuum pump, which runs your brake booster, you have a line. Now I've just done a temporary repair here with some PVC. It's not high temp, but it beats stopping with the emergency brake. So I'll be dealing with this later. I'll put some better line on here. But anyway, as stated before, the line coming off the brake pump stock has them crappy clamps, and it usually rots. So you're going to want to replace this line anyway, and check the nipple on your pump. Make sure it's not loose and leaking. And anyway, so start off by replacing this line. Now I know a lot of people say, I think they were saying 3/8 or whatever. It doesn't fit right. So I believe it was 3/8 that I had attempted to use. Anyway, here it is. It still fits sloppy even with a clamp. So you probably want to go metric, okay? You can measure it with some calipers and figure it out. So anyway, use a metric line on here. Make sure it's high temp, because remember, we got a lot of exhaust behind here with heat rising up on this thing. So this is just temporary. As I said again, it's just some PVC line that I used for filling my transmission when I fill it. So I'm going to fix this weekend, but I need brakes. So anyway, pull your assembly off, pull this line off. Now you're going to have a real hard time pulling this line, because this line is a beast. What happens, where is it? Aha. So what happens is these lines are like heated and pressed onto the nipple. You can see I kind of chewed this one up with a flat-headed screwdriver. And if you're going to reuse yours, you probably don't want to do that. So one way to get these off is to take a heat gun and heat that up. Don't overheat it and melt it, but heat it up. And you're going to take this other end. What I did is I took the valve end and carefully put it behind the jaws of a vise. I didn't clamp it in the vise. I put it behind the jaws so that it would hold it from slipping out of the vice jaws. I can't talk tonight. It's hard to talk when you're bending over. Anyway, let's stand up. So anyway, stick that through your little valve. This is going to be like this, right? So this is going to be stuck on your vacuum valve. And then that line would normally come out and go down to your reservoir here. So anyway, pull that line from the reservoir to the valve. This is going to be stuck, and you're going to leave this line stuck to the valve, because what you're really after, so you're not busting a bunch of stuff, is you're going to pull up on this line out of the brake booster. Be careful that you don't break your brake booster line or nipple. So pull this up, get it out, be patient with it. It's going to take a lot of force. Pull it straight up, it'll come out. This one was easy. The one on the valve was not. So then you take this end, stick it behind your clamp, your vise. So your valve, your one-way valve's on here. You're going to stick it behind your jaws, and you're going to pull up to release that valve out of this assembly, right? Okay. The whole idea is you don't want to be putting any pressure on that valve. It's cheap plastic and it's going to crack, and if you crack it, I've already checked, you can't get them at Napa, and they're a funky valve because they got this nipple coming off the one side, the motor side of the valve. Anyway, don't bust it, because I'm sure the dealership's going to want, you know, $50 for it. Mine's good. I thought I cracked it in a prior video, but that's not what broke. So here's what broke. And this must be common. Let's find it. It's on the side. And see, you can't see it. So looking at it, you can't see it. So I just started pulling everything off and testing it. And I'm even having a hard time finding it. Here it is. Okay, so let's take a look here. If I get my hands to work tonight. So anyway, check it out. See the little tiny crack? Now you see it? There we go. See that? That means no brakes. Right? And I think mine was leaking, and then when I reefed on it a little bit, I just pushed it out of the way and it cracked. Now I could repair this. I can repair this stronger than steel and heat resistant. But I'm not going to do that to this one. I'm going to go pull one off of another car in the boneyard. Hopefully it won't be broken too. This is a common thing. And then in the next video, I'm going to show you how to reinforce the crap out of one of these so it'll never break. So anyway, this is just temporary what I've done, because I got to have brakes. And that's it, man. So check that line. You can't check it without pulling it, I'm telling you. You're not going to see it, because I looked and looked and looked, and I was like, oh, it looks okay. And then I put the vacuum tester on, and I'm like, look, I'm not holding vacuum, right? And I thought it was a valve. Tested the valve, and the valve was good. And then I pulled the line, because I really didn't want to pull this thing. And tested the line, and it wasn't holding vacuum. And then I took a real close look at it, and there it is. So there you have it. Anyway, another high-quality piece of plastic out of China. So, check that. That seems to be a common issue. So, what else can I add? Nothing. So if you got brakes hard as a brick and you're not stopping fast and you know your brakes are good, it's probably not your master cylinder, by the way. That's probably it. So check that out. Do something about it. Good luck. All right. Have a good day.